Hey you! Yes you! Have you ever felt like your childhood was boring? Ever feel like you needed to do something a little dangerous? Well, with knockoff kids, you can experience what it would be like to live your life as a sad, washed-up ex-child star without having to mess around. Knockoff Kids provides you with your very own personal child, excluding the hassle of child support payments. Not available models include Lindsay Lacey Lohan, Justin Baby Bieber, and Amanda It's All That Vines. And all you have to do is sit back and relax on a pile of money you didn't spend in the Coogan account. Just like how the January 24th, 2014 issue of The Atlantic agrees that Hollywood is an evil machine where actors and singers are describing themselves as animals. Childhood is fleeting when you're constantly in the limelight. Any mistake made is being scrutinized by the public, and who is blaming? And who is to blame? Either you or your parent. Wanda Baron-Horrell, writer and psychologist for the June 22nd, 2011 issue of Psychology Today, points out that depending on the motivation of the parent and the child, varies the outcome of whether that child will end up like Justin Bieber or Joseph Gordon-Levitt. However, the increasing commodification of childhood is not healthy for the public mindset, nor is it healthy for the children themselves. They are someone's baby, baby, baby. Oh, they're not old enough to be your boyfriend, but I know what you're thinking. Never say never. One word, statutory. So there are 3 unanswered questions as to why our child stars are more wasted than a half-eaten raw Ford sandwich. Number 1, is there still child labor in America? Number 2, what made them go crazy? And number 3, how could we address this increasing issue of child exploitation? So, at this point in the presentation, you're probably wondering, Aubrey, there's no child labor in America. Well, wrong! No! Bad! Why? Because I said so. So let's first talk about the history of child labor and its new form. We, the people of a perfect union, have treated our children with as much love and respect as we can possibly give out. And we want to share this love with everyone else, so what do? We sell our children into labor. How sweet. In the early days of the 1800s, children were sent off to Pleasure Island, transformed into donkeys, and sold into the circus run by Gary Busey. But they soon decided that they would be no one's puppets. They were real boys and girls. Child labor soon slowly declined thanks to organizations such as the Child Labor Committee of 1905, who accumulated to the passing of the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. This set the standard for child labor laws and minimum wages. But you ask, metaphorically, aren't children still working in the media? Yes. Yes, they are. And if we claim that this is not the same as child labor, then our noses will be longer than Drew Barrymore's use of the word superfluous. So obviously kids don't work in coal mines and sweatshops. Oh, sorry, American kids. However, they do work in other ways. An article taken from the Daily Mail accessed on January 28, 2014 eulogizes Shirley Temple's passing, indicating her vehement opposition to the media's usage of children, calling it a cynical exploitation of her childhood innocence that occasionally was either racist or sexist. And she even described a moment in her inception of her soon-to-be blossoming career, being placed in a punishment box where her manager would force her to sit on a block of ice. Jodie Sweetin of Full House fame also describes a similar experience. I was on ice like all the time. I'm on ice right now, and it's expensive. So, are you enjoying your knockoff kid? Then, if you are, my next point is directed towards you. Yes, you, Mrs. Diane Lohan. Parents are most responsible for their child's actions. Sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it isn't. In the same article, Shirley went from making $150,000 a week and her mother making $25 a week for her song Baby Take a Bow to making more than sixfold. But it's over now. Go on and take a bow. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the wrong song. But it really is over now because the Coogan Law allows minors to put their money in a protected trust fund. However, in an April 18, 2011 National Law Journal details a loophole found. If parents do nothing, then the other 85% of the money isn't being protected. Then that basically leaves no one to monitor the money being used. So I guess you could say you could spend your money from your Coogan account on your cougar. Yes. In the August 6, 2013 USA Today, author Nancy Carlson Page states that the younger a kid is when he or she gets into the business, the more damaging it is because their needs are not met. The basic needs of childhood have nothing to do with working in the entertainment industry. If only Charlie Sheen realized that. From a child star, Mara Wilson, who also wrote a May 28, 2013, The Crackle expose about why child stars are going crazy. She says that these kids cannot function normally because parents won't help them, or they can't. And according to the March 2011 GQ magazine, that's exactly what happened to Miley Cyrus and her father, Billy Ray Cyrus. Mr. Cyrus wasn't and isn't able to help his child. It's not like he doesn't want to help, and it isn't aware that she's actually Justin Bieber without makeup on. Talk about having an alter ego. Disney should have run that pilot. But he's entirely blaming himself for not being a stricter parent. At least we know that parents care, most of the time. So after we establish that you can't always blame the parents, what can we do to prevent your child from going on to rehab? If they can't help these poor children, then I sure will. Or some psychologists will. According to the September 27, 2013 Sun Centennial article, Margaret Sargassi explained that the different techniques to create a child star that won't end up shaving their head. She says to take note and avoid the narcissism sinkhole, be clear about the money, and plan an exit strategy. Have you ever noticed that all the young, messed up adults now are the ones who usually spent their preteens and teenage years in the spotlight? Let's face it, your awkward, ugly adolescent face shouldn't even be seen, unless of course you're Justin Timberlake. But unfortunately, it might be too late for some. In an October 2nd, 2013 PopMatters.com article, psychologist Erik Erikson specifies the 8 stages of human development from infancy to childhood. One of those 8 is the adolescent period, where he says it's the time for a teen to try on different roles. But constantly being in the public eye can disturb the process of growing up. In Miley Cyrus's situation, he says that she is suffering from identity foreclosure, or in English, identity confusion. But one common trait these kids all share is that they're misunderstood. So ultimately, following the guidelines of these psychologists, there is only one true solution. Operation Hug a Child, or Hug a Delinquent, whichever way you say it. It's not too late to change a child's life. With just one hug, you can change a hooligan's life. Take Demi Lovato here. Once was on the path of destruction until one day you throw her in rehab, give her a hug, and she'll be making more money for you in no time. So, what is the lesson we have learned here, boys and girls? Never leave your child home alone. Who knows what they'll be doing? Just ask Macaulay Culkin. So what have we concluded? So we have concluded that the new form of child labor is child exploitation. How it's not entirely the parents' fault, and how to prevent another twerking video. These kids could be hurting inside. They don't know how to deal with it. Maybe they have suppressed memories of their underdeveloped childhood, so they make a music video with giant purple teddy bears strapped to their backs while shaking their ass in the air. It's okay. Everyone goes through a phase. But, however, Hollywood is a deadly place to immerse yourself into. It eats you up, spits you out, eats you up again, and hopefully you don't come out the other end. There's still hope. But if you're looking to ruin a child's life, then grab a knockoff kid. That way, there'll be one less wasted child.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.